context of all these amazing things, Ray, that you're talking about that can protect against the stress of darkness, what would you say, or what are your thoughts about a pregnant woman, or really anybody staying up late with a laptop, computer on their lap, or a cell phone in front of their face, surfing the internet?
Oh, well, the cell phone and the whole environment that is supporting cell phone use, but especially having one near your head or your torso or pelvis, that's a very important factor. And it has, like the other harmful influences that are being sold by the industry, the various telephone, radio, television industries are doing pretty phony studies claiming that radiation of that sort is completely harmless. Already in the 1950s, they were saying that if the radiation doesn't increase your body temperature or the cell temperature, then it can have absolutely no effect. But that was based on the crudest sort of basically science-free biological doctrine. Already early in the 20th century, biologists had been demonstrating great sensitivity of cells to even weak electrical or radiant fields. A Russian, Yuri Holodov, demonstrated that the gonads and the brain are the most sensitive of our tissues, but these are seldom the ones that telephone companies test for radio sensitivity.
Sure.
And the way of measuring the reaction, if you are only looking for one kind of reaction, such as a mutation of DNA, then it's going to take a tremendous amount of energy to produce that within the time that they are observing. But, for example, the nuclear radiation from atomic bomb testing or various medical X-rays, for example, they would give a certain dose of X-ray or isotope poisoning and say, well, we didn't see any mutations, maybe some minor DNA breaks, but no functional mutations. But they were limiting their observations to the cells that were directly exposed and the time immediately following the exposure. But when you look at the organism as a whole, as Yuri Holodov did, extremely weak X-ray poisoning, gamma ray poisoning, or isotope poisoning will change the whole organism, shrink the brain, change functioning. The bystander effect refers to the fact that radiation can seem to totally bypass the DNA, absolutely cause no mutation in the cells you're exposing, or only a small change. But those cells, having been poisoned, will, even years or decades later, will continue to be in a destabilized state, so that the rate of mutation is higher. So-called spontaneous mutations becomes higher when the cell is in this irritated, excited state. And one cell, having been irradiated and excited, emits substances such as the whole range, including breakdown products of the polyunsaturated fatty acids, but intrinsic hormones of all sorts. The cell, having been irradiated, emits these small molecules that have a transmitting effect. If they're being released into water by irradiated fish, for example, other fish swimming in that water will show the effects of irradiation, having absorbed these small pro-inflammatory molecules. But in the body, a cell which is irradiated seemingly without much local damage is emitting these small irritating particles, and surrounding cells receiving these particles through the body fluids are then destabilized, and they will start having DNA mutations. So when you hear about particular demonstrations of the harmlessness of a particular dose of irradiation, the experiment is almost always set up to be blind to about 95% of the actual effects of the radiation, which is delayed in time and remote in space through the organism. So from that perspective, a tremendous amount of the science is fraudulent, and much of it. Chris Busby in England has outlined. He even had a criticism of some of the research published in the journal, I think it was Genetics, in December of last year. Very odd that it finally got published, but he showed that the history of radiation research has been deliberately avoiding seeing the worst effects.